Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to talk about TikTok again, unfortunately, because I truly am starting to think that TikTok may be getting eerily close to what Kik was. Now, if you don't know what Kik was, it was a messaging app. I think it still exists. It is a messaging app where multiple times the app has been busted for facilitating exchanges of communication between adults and minors, if you catch my drift. And if you just look up Kik, K-I-K, it'll come up. It's a shit show, frankly. I feel like TikTok is going into a similar direction, not necessarily just with adult minors type stuff, but also with the fetishizing of things that truly should not be fetishized. But then again, it's the internet. What's new? Everything's terrible. Before we get into that though, I did want to thank today's sponsor, which is Casetify. Casetify makes phone cases that have military-grade drop protection. So if and when you drop your phone, you're covered. Casetify has a significant catalog of case designs from minimal to super extra, and you can even customize them. There are a variety of colorways as well, so you can always find the color that you prefer. This is the Casetify phone case I have right now that has my initials and then flowers. Love this one. But a couple of other favorites include this iridescent one with palm trees, this pink camel one, which always looks sick because my phone is black, so it balances out the girliness with my obvious love for black. And then another customized one that has GC at the very bottom with falling hearts, which is to appeal to my girly side. Go to casetify.com/readytoglare today to get 20% off your favorite phone case. Thank you, Casetify, for sponsoring this video. Now let's get into the terribleness. So today we're going to cover multiple things. We have on our menu pedophilia, fetishization of murder, and other forms of pedophilia. It's a mess. Let's just get through this because frankly, it's the second time I'm filming this and I'm gonna throw up. Okay, so someone took a screen recording of a TikTok that now has been taken down, and I even looked for the user and I couldn't find them anymore, so I don't know if they were deleted or they deleted themselves. I don't know what happened, but just watch this. So I have to mute the music because copyright. In case you're not understanding what's happening here, which I don't really think is the case, but just in case, get it? So what's happening is two parents, a couple, are fooling around. Their kid asks, hey, mom, dad, where are you? And they pretty much, or the dad asks the kid if she wants to join into the activity that's occurring. And on top of that, they include bribery kind of as well, because it's like, oh yeah, you're such a good girl, we'll get you an ice cream after. I want to know what in the hell went through your head, because TikToks are deceptively difficult to make. Truly, the ones I've made are terrible and I struggled. The reason I'm bringing this up is because it wasn't just like taking a selfie where you take the selfie and you go, or like me, you take 500 and then hate every single picture, but it's planned because you have to overlay the text, you have to shoot it, you have to come up with an idea. So like, I'm wondering how along this trajectory, this dude never stopped once to think, hey, why am I making a video about pedophilia and incest and rape and sexual assault and bribery? Why is that? Why am I not in therapy right now? Why do I feel comfortable posting this on the internet? Why am I a disappointment to my entire family? I wonder how this came to be. Let's just put it that way. And on top of that, he even went as far as to comment on the person who replied, I guess, to his TikTok saying it was disgusting, saying, I love it, or something like that. So the lack of self-awareness is massive. Or there's awareness and they're just like fine with being creepy as fuck. So I don't know what happened to him. I'm just afraid because people like him might be deleted, but they always reappear. They're kind of just like a bug you can't kill. I just worry about what would happen if he were in contact with minors. That's all I'm going to say. Anyway, moving swiftly ahead. The next person that is deeply troubling to me on TikTok. So this one might very well be fake. I personally believe it's fake, but nonetheless, just watch this. This one's graphic. There's blood. I think it's fake, so if you're sensitive to that, go into thinking it's fake, or I'll put a timestamp to skip. Like I said, I think it's fake, because if there actually had been a murder, I don't believe someone would just be walking around their house filming, you know, whatever happened. And second of all, it just seems surreal. I would like to believe that even in 2020, the most cursed of years, I would like to believe that we're not going to turn murder into a TikTok trend. For the love of God, please, Jesus Lord, I cannot go forward if that is where we're at. Truly, this is... no, shoot me off to fucking Mars, please. But nonetheless, whether it's real or not, the problem still remains that it's a fetishization of murder or extreme violence. And I'm all about dark humor, but this is not funny, A. And B, it's pointless aside from making it into like a trend. And there apparently is a murder TikTok community, which when I heard of it, stupidly, I had like a tiny second of optimism, and I was like, oh, it's probably people who are into true crime in a healthy way, not like idolizing killers, but just like you're interested in crime. But now I'm finding out that it's more akin to this. I don't know if I really have to say anything more about that. The things I say in pretty much all of my videos, I really need to look up synonyms, because I've been using too many of the same words. But disgusting just rolls off the tongue. Disgusting. Moving on to the next person. I love how this is like a roll call of just like disgusting TikTok shit. Love that. So this person has multiple TikToks that trouble me. Now, they very well might be a troll. The thing is, it's very easy to hide behind being a troll in the sense of like being like, oh, I was just kidding around. You know, kind of like when you say something and you can see that people are visibly uncomfortable or offended by what you say, so you say I'm kidding as a way to protect yourself. You know, I think everyone's witnessed someone do that before. That's kind of how I feel here, where they're like, oh, like I'm trolling or it's just a joke. They haven't said it, but they can always use that as a defense, when in reality, there's no joke, sis. Like, this is real. So that's just my conspiracy, but here are the videos.
Okay, hello from my closet. So there was a part of this video that I wasn't really sure if I wanted to keep in, and I'm going to explain that right now. So there is another TikTok user who has exhibited some very strange behavior, in my opinion, and because they're a minor, it's very difficult for me to decide whether to include things, because in one way I think they're dangerous, because in a said TikTok, this person was taking boyfriend and girlfriend applications, and they believe in trans age, which I made a video about that years ago, I think, at this point. And trans age is essentially a mockery of transgender people, and also a way, in my opinion, to be predatory, but with an excuse, in the sense of trans age usually is like 40-year-olds who then say, oh, I identify as a 12-year-old, so then I can, you know, date 12-year-olds, so it's predatory in my opinion. But anyway, this person claims to believe in trans age and claims to be trans age in the sense of they're actually 15, but they identify as 15 to 17. And in their TikTok, they were taking boyfriend or girlfriend applications, and they were listing like what they wanted, essentially. And they listed the ages of acceptable boyfriends or girlfriends as 11 years old to 20 years old. To me, that shows, in a sense, predatory behavior, but it's also hard because when someone's a minor, like 15, I do think dating someone who's 11 is completely inappropriate and dangerous, especially for the 11-year-old. But at the same time, you can't really use words like pedophile, and I'm not, you know, well-versed in the dynamics of what it means if a 15-year-old wants to date an 11-year-old, other than I think it's fucking weird. But on the other hand, it's also dangerous because this 15-year-old could be setting themselves up to be the victim, because in the sense of, I don't know what the age of consent is where this person lives, but if a 20-year-old comes to them and is like, oh yeah, I'm down to date you, and they're 15, even if it is above the age of consent in certain places, it probably would be an unhealthy relationship. It might be kind of groomy as well, so I find it dangerous on both ends. And on top of that, if they find someone who is trans age, let's say a 50-year-old man or woman who claims to be, say, 17, then they're definitely going to be taken advantage of. And so all of it together is very dangerous, in my opinion, for both said TikToker and other people. But again, because they're 15, I don't really feel comfortable just putting their shit out there. I'm probably going to maybe report the video just because I think it is dangerous, because if 11-year-olds do answer, which I've seen in the comments people that were very young answering, I don't know, I don't feel right about it. I'm not going to do anything until probably I see what you guys say, because of the people I've asked, I haven't really found a consensus, and I just don't feel right about it, but I also don't feel right about putting them on blast here. I'd rather go via some other type of channel to get them to maybe, you know, rethink that decision. You guys can let me know what you think. Sorry if this was just me talking and you not seeing the footage.
But because of these different categories of degeneracy, I'm truly starting to wonder what's going on TikTok, because of course there's plenty of positive content. I'm by no means saying TikTok is infested. I'm not saying the majority of TikTok is bad. I'm just saying that there are these people that pop up. And I've noticed that TikTok isn't really censoring the right people, and I'm not for censorship unless the person is dangerous, like a pedophile would be. I don't really know what's going on there, but you guys can let me know what you think in the comments down below. If there's other shit on TikTok I need to know about, by all means comment and I will check up on it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to my patrons as always, and let's get right to the fan art.